everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is because I offered to host our Bible studies group at our house this week, not expecting it to be taken serious. Well, I offered because I do like having people over and it also gives me motivation to clean, and yeah, everyone was happy to come here. Basically, the way our Bible studies works is there's a fair few of us, like a fair few families in the same group, and a couple of us all have children. So as one of our church leaders said on the evening that this took place, they don't mind having it at our house and the other family's house that have young children, because that way at least we get to both be present on the weeks that Bible studies is at our house, because me and James normally take it in turns if it's hosted at someone else's, because the little man obviously has his own routine, and keeping him out at that time of night, it distracts other people and it throws him off routine. So today is basically just a clean and tidy of the main traffic areas, because I am not letting them know how cluttered my house is. So basically, as much as I'm trying to clean out the two cupboards in the living room, things ended up shoved in those cupboards, and things also ended up shoved in my daughter's bedroom because she was at her dad's when this was taking place. So that was just like a brief place to put them while I sorted everything else out. Seeing this makes me quite emotional, because the little man has outgrown his car seat, so we need to swap it out. The car seat that you actually saw in the living room used to be my daughter's when she needed one. So yeah, it's come full circle and I feel very emotional that that's been reinstalled in my car. They don't stay babies forever, and weirdly enough, the boy steals my socks. So yes, I'm shoving a sock on now, and then I find my other sock in a few minutes. But yeah, just tidying up the living room and getting everything sorted. It gets to something when I class this as not bad for my dining room table, because this isn't bad compared to normal standards, but I'm beginning to be very realistic with my expectations. We live in a 2-bedroom maisonette. Some of the time there's 4 of us here, some of the time there's five of us here. The boy shares my bedroom. It's not going to be perfect. Don't get me wrong, as much as we've got a nice big space, it's cluttered because of how many people live here and how many people's things are needed, and clothes and toys and letters and glasses and everything else, and it all needs somewhere to accumulate. So I'm beginning to realise that my house isn't going to be the way I want it all the time, and I need to understand that. However, I do need to get on top of it in terms of just daily cleaning of the main traffic areas, such as kitchen, living room and bathroom. Bedrooms do not need, in my opinion, do not need doing daily. They are a couple of times, 3 times a week kind of situation, depending on the mess and everything else. I do make my bed daily. I do open my curtains daily, and the same with my daughter's room. Her bed's made. What I tend to do with little man's bedding is, because he still has just like knitted blankets and stuff, I tend to just drape them over the top of his cot. So that way, if he falls asleep, which I still breastfeed, so normally he's either fed to sleep, which I'm trying to get him out of, and in all honesty, I am really contemplating stopping breastfeeding him, because he, as much as I love it, he wakes up several times in the night for comfort, but will only accept comfort from boob, and it's getting very draining for myself and my partner when my partner's here. So I need to have a serious think about stopping that. But yeah, it's easier to put him in his cot if the blankets aren't already in there, because otherwise I lay him down, have to shuffle the blankets, and 9 times out of 10, if I have to shuffle the blankets to get them from under him, he wakes up. And I've come to the realisation that recording videos without showing my son is going to be near on impossible. Well, not impossible, but I'd be very limited in terms of what I can record, because I have to record around him being awake. And the only reason I'm showing him today is I'm limited on the amount of time I have to clean and get everything sorted, because this was one of my work from home days. So on top of all the cleaning you see and the baking you're about to see, I had to look after my little man. I also had to work from home, which I did. I did my full hours from working from home, but it was a lot. But yeah, it won't. I hope he won't be in many videos. That's all I'm going to say. You will probably see him in a little bit as well at a couple of points, purely for the reason being, when I was doing my baking, he was in his high chair having a snack and watching TV while I just got the baking done. Strangely enough, a lot of people that I speak to say that the bathrooms are the bane of their existence when it comes to cleaning. I absolutely hate tackling the kitchen, because I honestly feel like I could get this kitchen spotless near enough, and then within 20 minutes, half an hour, there's 3-4 pots that need doing and the sides are covered in stuff because they don't get wiped down when they've been used, which annoys me. But I'm also guilty of doing the same thing. So that's the reason why our kitchen gets as bad as what it does. However, I am trying to keep on top of it. I say trying. Like I said, our living room is hoovered and cleaned and tidied daily, because that's my daughter's and more little man's, but my daughter's and little man's main play area, more so my little man's. And obviously I don't want him picking up anything he's not supposed to because I've not hooved up, or falling over stuff because it's too cluttered. But yes, the kitchen is the bane of my existence because I tend to neglect it. I don't actually enjoy cleaning the kitchen. I don't like washing pots. However, I have not got enough space for a dishwasher. And in all honesty, I would prefer a tumble dryer over a dishwasher, because living on the top floor as we do, especially when little man's home, and depending on the weather, I struggle to get anything out on the line. If it's just me and little man home, even if he's asleep in bed, I'm not going to leave him asleep even if I take the monitor down. That's not going to happen. So we only have space. We have one area in our house, and that goes in our living room behind our sofa, as you know. But that's limited. You can fit like 12 pieces of clothing on that. We get through a lot of clothes in a week, to the point of where I've honestly considered contacting the local laundrettes just to get back on top of the massive clothes pile that we've got. So my thoughts are contact them and get that done, and then that way I can start from fresh next week. But we will see. my plan is soon to fully declutter my kitchen, so fully go through where we keep all the food, where we have our pots and pans and everything, and get rid of stuff or donate stuff that we no longer use or we don't use, because they are full of rubbish. I've got 2 junk drawers in this kitchen that need sorting. But yeah, my plan is to organise them all and sort them all, so eventually we've got space for the medicine to go that isn't on the kitchen side. I'm very nervous about where it is at the moment, because little man's just going to grow bigger and bigger, and I'm worried about if he can reach it when he gets a little bit older, but still not old enough to understand that you don't do anything with that, you're too young. So that is also the plan. I am honestly so proud of myself because I don't normally bake, especially not from scratch. I normally use cake mixes and stuff like that because it's so much easier. However, I was not offering to host Bible studies and then not baking a treat. That would not sit right with my heart at all. So I just baked a normal Victoria sponge cake, and luckily everyone loved it, said it was good. I'm so happy. I do just want to clarify the reason that there are nappies on the bathroom floor and clothes on the bathroom floor at the moment was little man basically had a poonami this morning and pooed everywhere twice. So he had to have a emergency bath this morning before I could get anything else done. And because obviously I then took my daughter to school, was getting work done, everything else, I completely and totally forgot about it, in all honesty. It's only when I came back upstairs that I remembered they were there. So sorted them out as quickly as humanly possible. And this is where the sadness kicks in, because I'm not sure if I've mentioned it before, however, I record all of my footage on my mobile, and unfortunately in a few minutes this is very near the end of my footage because my phone storage became full and completely and totally cut off, so you don't get to see the end product of the cake, which annoyed me so badly, and none of the hoovering, but to be fair, you've seen me clean enough today, so that's not a problem. So yeah, I am currently recording on my phone because I can't personally justify buying a camera, depending on how the channel does. It is what it is, so I'll record what I can and upload what I can. But basically after this, put the jam on top of the buttercream, stacked it, a little bit of icing sugar sieved on top. It looked lovely, and the rest of the day was just spent hoovering and making sure the house looked okay. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys. I hope you've all enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.